Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another. I thought, don't worry. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. It's Sunday evening. I have had about 3-4 pints. And believe it or not, I do feel a little bit tipsy, but I've decided to do another beer review. And the next one coming up is actually another Polish beer, but this isn't one of the Polish beers I got out in Poland. Me and the wife went to Wrexham, and they've opened up a bigger Chatopolski supermarket. So we went in there, not looking for beer, just for Polish food and that, because we do like to try different stuff. But while I was out, obviously I had a nosy at the beers, and I picked up this beer. Now, I'm pretty certain that I have not had this, but I'm also certain that my wife had this while we was out in Krakow, as it happens, but I could be wrong. And it's a beer from Lech, assuming that is how you pronounce it, or I got a feeling it's not the brewery's name. But what we've got is a bottle of Lech Pils. There we go. A big 500ml bottle, and this Pilsner is coming in at 5.5% ABV, and this cost us £2.39 or in that region for this beer from Chatopolska, or Chatopolski, or whatever it's called. The label is quite plain, it's got to be said, gold, green, but it's inoffensive and I do quite like it. I do love the old foreign sort of bottles and their labels. There we go, and there's the crown. So hopefully this is going to be good. Now, if this was the same beer that my wife had in one of the Polish bars that we had in Krakow, she actually really enjoyed it. So like I say, I can't remember, she can't remember what beer it was she had. It was definitely a Pilsner. I'm pretty certain it was a Pilsner, not a blonde ale, I don't know. But it could have been this one. So that's why I picked it up. Anyway, I don't have a Lech glass, so we are going to whack it in this Austrian glass, which is a Zipfer, which is what I've done my last Polish beer in, I believe. So let's get cracked open, see what we get. A couple of beers, I've had some food. It's repeating on me, so I do apologise, but I hope you all had a good weekend. So let's get cracked open and see what we get. It's nice and chilled. So let's get it out and get it poured. I know I keep saying I should do all this talking while I'm pouring the beer, but I never do. And some of you may have noticed I got a new van for work. Sort of had it delivered to this place on Monday, but I only really picked it up Friday. Emptied my old one. Transferred everything on Saturday. Hopefully my old one is going to go and get it sold. I had some new vinyls turn up Friday for it. Since then, managed to pick up some seat covers today for it, just some universal ones because they're cheaper. And I bought some racking today through eBay, which is all look like it's all new and made for the van. So yeah, things are sort of happening in my life. I think I've got 4 days work this week, or that is the plan, if you like. So hopefully come Friday I'll be able to do the vinyls. If not the vinyls, definitely get the racking set up and start getting the van properly set up, because at the moment I've got a tool van and basically everything's sort of like one level. So I've got 3/4 of a van that's pointless at the moment, so having the racking will definitely help. I'm going to shut up. I know you don't want to hear that, but Baz has had a couple of beers, he's had some food, and he's just making some idle chit chat on a video. I'll get the rest in. That's pretty much the full beer in there, so I'll just have to be careful when I swill it. So, beer in a glass, Lech Pilsner, 5.5%, there we go. What you're seeing on camera, I'm going to say is what I'm seeing. It's sort of like a dark sort of golden colour. Plenty of carbonation going up the middle. I think this glass is nucleated. It's got a little fizzy thing at the bottom. You may be able to see, but I ain't going to tip it too much. And we've got about a finger of compact white head. So let's give it a swirl, diving on the nose, see what we get. I wouldn't say I'm getting a lot. Could be down to me tea and all the other beers I've had, I don't know. Malty, slightly sweet. And that is about all I'm getting really. I can't really say I'm getting a citrus note. I wouldn't really say it's syrupy. There's a hoppy note, but without any sort of bitterness on the nose either. So I'm going to stop sniffing for weeks on end, and I'm going to dive in and have a taste of the old Lech Pils, 5.5%. Picked up from the UK, but a Polish beer. Cheers, everyone. Let's dive in. Give it a go. Oh. Yeah. I mean, it has that feel of, I'm going to say, sort of like standard Polish beers. It has that feel, but not to the extent that I found some of other standard Polish sort of lagers myself. It's got that feel of it, but not so much. Let's go in again. 5.5%. It's definitely got the 5.5% sort of body to this beer. There is some weight there. Excuse me. It's quite heavy. Very much a grainy feel, but we'll move on to that after. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But yeah, some weight to it for 5.5%. Carbonation is there. I'm not going to say it's massively overcarbonated. A little bit busy, a little bit rough in the mouth, but I wouldn't say it's an unpleasant roughness. I've had Pilsners with a nicer mouthfeel than this, but like I say, not particularly bad. Not the smoothest. I mean, the beer is actually quite nice and smooth, but the carbonation does roughen it up a bit and just take the edge off it. Excuse that gas as well. Now on the taste, it's very malty, it's very grainy, which gives it quite a big sweet side. I'm not going to say sickly sweet, but it's almost given it just a small sort of syrupy feel. And I think maybe when you've got very big malty beers, very big grainy sort of beers, you get a lot of sweetness out of it and it almost feels a little bit syrupy. That is what this is doing, but I'm not going to say it's so much that it feels like it is syrup. A little hoppy thing going on in the background. Very much a European sort of style lager. But what I like about this, even though there is that sweetness and that little syrupy feel, it's not overpowering. It's just sort of staying in the boundaries of being pleasant for me and lifting it just above some of the other beers. There's no sort of citrus note in there. It's very much malty lager. I mean, you could put this along the lines of maybe some Turkish lagers, the Efes and that, but I think this is nicer, if I'm honest. This beer is nicely chilled. It's been in the fridge for a week. Granted, my fridge is set at about 4 degrees, and I think with the flavours that I'm pulling out of this beer, certainly with that maltness and that sweetness, I think that's probably ideal. I think if you had it too cold, it might feel a little bit bland, and any warmer, it could maybe be too sweet. But it's pleasant enough. It doesn't have the crispness of say a German Pilsner that maybe feels a little bit lighter, because this is so malty. I think that's where it loses that crispness. 5.5%. Do you get that? You don't get it massively overpowering in taste. As I said at the start, I think it drinks like a 5.5% beer. It's got that sort of weight to it, but yeah, I'm not going to say it's any world beater, you know, but I think if it's a warm day or you're just casually drinking without thinking about anything, I think it's a decent enough beer. It's not too sweet. It hasn't got too much of a syrupy feel to it to put you off. It's an easygoing sort of beer, really. Again, it's not up there with the German Pilsners, pardon me, in my opinion. But that said, pardon me again, it's not a bad drop. 5.5%. £2.39, 500ml bottle. I don't think that's too bad. I really don't. Would I pick it up again? I certainly wouldn't be against buying this beer. It's another one of them that, depending on what was on tap anywhere or in a supermarket, it wouldn't put me off picking it up again. It might not be the first beer that I would go for if I had a choice, but by no means bad. Drinkable enough, no nastiness in there, and yeah, it's just you can't argue with it. So there you go. There's my thoughts on Lech and Pils. If you've had it before, would I recommend picking it up? Yeah, definitely worth giving a go. If you've had it before, let me know your thoughts. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Apologies for all that wind and all that talking, and I will see you again soon on another one. Cheers.